Good morning, everyone. We're a couple of minutes late because Fran couldn't quite get herself out of her house. But here we are. Yay! Yay! Oh, we have a really fun, today is going to be Tuesday tutorial tip day.
Yes.
We have something really fun planned for you. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to introduce you to my Kristiann. So there's my Kristiann. She doesn't want to do this, so I'll talk mostly for her. She's like, I love you, friend. I'll do this for you, but you know I don't really want to. So Miss Kristiann works the floor. She is a woman of multi-talents. She works the floor. Yeah, I do know about that. She works the floor. She cuts my kits. She accepts freights for me sometimes. She's a gal that can do it all. And this isn't even her for real job. She has a full-time for real job, and then I get to have her sometimes. So
on the extras.
On the extras, which she squishes me in all the time. So lots and lots of extras. So I'm happy to have Miss Kristiann along with us.
Yes.
And I think I won't have. Well, do you have something to talk about?
She does.
Besides,
she has two things. You just asked me to bring in some store samples.
I did. And they're brand new store samples, and so we've not even seen these completely finished yet. So show us, Miss Kristiann. Let's see what you got.
Here, we'll hold it, and you talk.
She wants to be behind.
She wants to be behind.
She wants to hide.
I can hold it. Look how cute these animals.
So we don't do a lot of juvenile here, but to me this is not juvenile. This is everyone's. This can be anyone that loves wildlife. And Kristiann designed this one too. She decided how to put this all together. She also does that. She'll rewrite patterns for me and figure out what to do with fun panels. And so that's darling.
I love that giraffe. Look at his little horns.
Isn't it sweet?
So
and
precious.
Tegan would love the elephant up there. Oh, I have to do a shout out though first of all. So today, you guys, is my youngest granddaughter's birthday. Miss Nora is 15 years old today, and hopefully Nora's at school. So
she's not seeing this.
I'm hoping she's at school. But happy birthday to
birthday,
Miss
Nora.
Yes. Ooh.
She's binding this one right now,
I can't
so
wait
it'll
to
be
see
here
this
very,
one.
very shortly. That is so pretty.
Oh my gosh, Kristiann, this is amazing.
Is so big.
Wow, girl.
I don't know if you'll be able to actually see it.
I know.
Oh,
it's hard.
So pretty. Let's
Do you want me to try
stand
going
up.
back? Let me go back.
Here.
Let us go back.
Let
Let's
us
go back.
go back. Let us retreat. Let us just
Still, that. Oh yeah, now you can see those borders.
Look how pretty.
But let's go
is.
down. Let's go down a little bit so they can see this top border because it is
amazing.
a border print. So how pretty is that? And it says, "You are the sun and the moon and the stars."
And it's true. And we do have a little. Oh, we do have. I'm sorry.
The kits are available and they are on the website.
Great. Hot diggity dog. So even before this is finished being bound, you can get a kit. I love it. I love it.
It's so pretty.
And we're going to talk. Our fun thing we're going to talk about today is Scrappy Happy Backs. And this one, as I'm standing behind it, is a perfect one to start with. It's amazing. Look at how fun Kristiann did the back of this book. Look at that. Is that not the funnest thing?
So she just took this. Is this with the fabric? So this is with the fabric, and she just took 2 strips on both sides to make it big enough. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and they're not straight. Look how she's done diagonal. So it's not perfectly straight. I love that. It's a little off kilter. It's kind of like me. I love it. I love it. Kristiann, those are so beautiful. So we are frantically trying to get a bunch of store samples finished for Shop Hop because, Liz just scared the living daylights out of these. She said, guess what? 18 days.
18 days.
We're not ready yet, but we will be. We're going to get there, right, girls?
Yes.
Right, right. We will be there with lots of fun new store samples, some great games, some great chicken legs like we showed you last week.
Yes, if you missed Village Vibes last week, go check it out because it was fun.
It was way fun. We had chicken legs on in this so crazy. But Liz and I, we couldn't hold them up there on the table for very long because it's a stretch when you're old and you got short legs. It's really a stretch.
Gotta get them all the way up there. We have really tall tables here, I think.
I think it is. Yeah, they're 10 feet tall, right? And we're only 5 feet tall anyway, so it's really a dilemma for us. But we did it, and we had a lot of fun. So we're gonna have even more fun at Shop Hop because it's gonna be really fun. Dance like a chicken. Yes. So so the back that Kristiann showed us. I'm going to show you a little demo on that before we actually, I think, show you some of our other quilts. So I'm going to sneak up here and grab my demo boards and my little notebook. Excuse me. Oh, wait, there's more. Okay, so, and we do have papers for this here at the book. We've got some directions.
If you've ever seen anything that looks like this, we've passed it out at some of our second Saturdays, at some of our clubs and classes, and we have it under the front desk.
We do.
So you can ask for it anytime, and we will give you a free copy of this. So next time you're in, if you want this paperwork, let us know. But this is...
So we're going to show you step by step. And our friend Laurie that works here, you've met Laurie earlier. Laurie actually showed us how to do this a long time ago. And so shout out to Laurie too, who's in Montana right now if you're watching, Laurie. Yeah, she's watching her great-granddaughter and playing with her daughter and grandkids. So she's having a really good time. So, okay, so what you need to do on this, the first thing is you need to figure out what the size of your quilt is. And a lot of times your quilt will be not really wide enough to use 2 full widths in it. And even if it does, sometimes I'll cheat and still do this same method because I love the finished look of this. So you need to decide, okay, what size is my quilt width and length? Once you've done that, you can then figure out how much you need to add to that. Now, when you're doing a diagonal in the back, you're going to get a little bit more off of that diagonal. I still go ahead and figure it at that same size. And if I've got a little bit more to trim off on the side, that's a bonus for me. So first thing that you're going to do, thank you, ma'am, is you're going to take your piece. I'm going to hold this up here so y'all can see it. And all I do is I take that piece. Oh, thank you, girls. And I actually lay it on my floor because usually my design wall is not up, or if it is, it's got stuff on it. And my cutting table always has stuff on it. So I go out on my family room floor and just pray that my dog won't come and pounce in the middle of it, which he usually does. So I've got here's my back piece. Okay.
And this is giant.
This is not a for real bag. Or it could be a bag for a pot holder, right? It's a small bag. But I didn't want to have boards big enough to try to do this. So I take it in, I lay it on my family room floor, and I just fold a diagonal line. Now, it doesn't make any difference if you fold left to right or right to left. It makes no difference at all, okay? Then I get down on my hands and knees, and I take my scissors, and I just choop all the way along that fold. I try to keep it fairly straight, but that's going to be a seam, so if it's a little bit crooked, it's okay. It's okay.
So when you fold, you want to make sure you've got some on this side and some on this side.
Don't go too close to the corners.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your seam right in your corner.
Yes.
That just adds way too much bulk in there. Okay, so leave yourself some space in between both of those corners.
Would you say at least 10 inches?
Oh, I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no quilt police on this one. There's no rules, at least not that I know of. But, you know, as much or as little as you want to leave on there, as long as you're not into your corner. Okay, so we've cut that first piece. And when you cut that apart, ta-da, I have 2 pieces.
Yep.
Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Okay, now I am going to, remember I told you, you need to measure whatever width, and that's what size you're going to be adding to your diagonal seam here. Okay, so once you've decided that, I am going to give myself, so let's say that I needed 12 inches. That's a good measurement. Okay, I need 12 inches in here to make my back wide enough. So I am going to purchase 2/3 of a yard of fabric. I am going to cut that 2/3 of a yard in half, so I now have 2 12-inch by the width of the fabric, about 42 inches. So pretend that that's what I have here. So here's my 2 pieces that I have cut, my 2 12-inch by the width of the fabric. Now I'm going to take these 2 pieces and I'm going to sew those together. Now when I am sewing a back, I like to use 3/8 of an inch seam.
A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. It just gives, it gives me a little more what's my word I
Security?
want? Yeah, that my back is, that my seam's not going to be popping open, okay? So I am going to take this and I'm going to give myself my seam. I'm going to sew this at 2/3, it's a 2/3 piece of fabric, 3/8 seam. When I sew it together, it's going to look like so, okay? Now I am going to take those pieces and I'm going to sew them onto both of my strips. So on this first side, I kind of match up my little points here. Now, remember guys, what is this?
Diagonal. And
bias edge, right? So here's a tip. When you're working with bias edges, they're going to stretch really easy. Spray, 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 spray. Spray them pretty heavily. Spray starch them pretty heavily. And pin, pin, pin. You might not be able to really see my pins poking out here, but you're going to want to pin the heck out of this edge here so that as you are sewing, you're not accidentally stretching it. Yep, yep. Okay, so now I'm going to start up here. I'm going to sew my 3/8 inch seam down to the bottom. See, I've got this floppy down here. I don't care. Leave it alone. It can be as long as it wants to for right now.
Okay.
Okay, now I am going to show you what I did. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and here's my seam. Now, I also like to press my back open. Okay, now here's another little tip. Shorten your stitch length. Because this is going to be pulled and tugged on a bit and you don't want your seam to pop open. I like that seam pressed open because I also do machine quilting only for myself. And not very often at that, I'm ashamed to say. Anyway, so it has less bulk back there. And as I'm rolling this on my machine, the more you roll, the thicker that becomes on there, which is another really cool thing about doing a diagonal seam, because then not all of the bulk is in one place. Spot. So that's really, really nice.
I thought about that.
So when you're doing a back, think about this. When you're going to take it to a machine quilter or even do it yourself, as you're rolling this back, if my seam is straight on there and I've got a big long quilt, I'm going to end up with a much thicker back right there in that spot. So here's what's going to happen. When you get out here to the sides of your quilt, they're going to be floppy. It's not going to be nice and snug back there. So sometimes that's why machine quilters can get a little tuck in their backs. So that's another reason I like diagonal seams and I like to press them open. Okay, so now I've pressed this guy open. Here's my piece. I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to use my nice straight edge of my ruler and I'm going to cut the tip of that guy off. As you can see, this little teeny tiny piece that's right up here. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece and see how that hangs over like this. I thought I had another piece. I might have left a board at home. Okay, so now I am going to sew this guy, sew, press, 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 flap it over. Now, I'm going to take my next piece here, and I'm going to lay this piece. Now, because this is chopped off, because this is diagonal, I need the tip of this piece to be up however big your seam is. If you like 1/4 inch, if you like 1/2 inch, a 3, whatever size you like to sew, that's how much up this corner has to be. Okay, so when I bring this corner up to here and down to here, I don't know if you can see very well because I know I've got a lot of green that's right here. My green background, my green back actually sets up above the piece that I have sewn. It sets up above here and it sets up above here. So about 3/8 of an inch on both sides, okay? So when I sew this on, thank you. When I sew that last piece on there, you're not going to really be able to tell this. See how this is up? There's little dog ears. So when I open this guy up, press, 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 see my little dog ears that are up there at the top and at the bottom? Okay, so see how nice and straight that turned out at the top and at the bottom. So you now have a nice, fun, scrappy back. They're kind of fun. We do this a lot. We're going to show you a couple of quilts too. And you saw Kristiann's where she had hers a little bit this way. And you could make this as much of a diagonal or as little. It doesn't have to be, like I could have come clear over to almost my seam and really gotten a diagonal there if I would have wanted to do that. But that's a fun little tutorial on some scrappy backs. We also have a couple of other pages here in the store. One time when I was in Colorado, I went to my daughter's, hi Donna, I went to my daughter's Long Arm Quilt Guild, and they were passing out these, oh, I thought there were two of them. Oh, it's on the front and the back. Oh, well, we'll do this. We can do this.
Perfect.
So they were passing out these papers with some really, I mean, some of these are really very, very scrappy. But like if you've got a layer cake or you've got just even some extra yardage.
A fat quarter bundle.
Yeah, fat quarter bundle makes a really cute back.
Yeah.
You could cut some of those pieces up and make a scrappy back out of your leftover fabrics from your front.
Yes.
Or great way to use some of your stash. I know none of you have any stash because we don't, do we, girls? We got nothing there.
Yeah.
We got nothing. No. So we also have these in the store, and we're happy to make a copy of those for you as well if you would like them. We love scrappy backs. You've gone to all the work to make this most beautiful quilt on the front, and then you slap two pieces together on the back. And I've done that. Nothing, no judging here. But how much more interest if you've got fabric that you've put on the back of there to make a fun scrappy quilt. So
one of the things that Kristiann mentioned this morning that I hadn't thought of is she likes to put panels on the back of quilts. And I think that's brilliant.
Because she's done some really cute ones, and then she ends up with two quilts. It's, she's done
one of my really good friends, she did one of the I Spy quilts, and then she found a map panel and put that on the back of an I Spy quilt, and I thought that was brilliant.
That was
so that's a good way you can find a panel that's on sale or a panel that you have. And sometimes I look at my panels and I go, how am I exactly going to use this? But I love the back idea. I thought that was brilliant. So that's another good idea.
Yeah, Kristiann is brilliant.
I know,
I surround myself with brilliant people, and that way it makes me look a little smarter. Ha! Fooled you guys, didn't I?
Well, and I think we maybe missed one thing. I think we should always remember a wide backing.
Oh gosh. Okay.
The easiest and the cheapest.
It really is, because wide backing runs anywhere now from, well, everything's gone up, but anywhere from maybe $17 to about $20 some. Okay. And that's 108 inches wide. Some of it's even 118 wide. We've even got some that's a little wider. And here's the best thing about wide backing. The quality has gotten so much better. Wide backing used to be one step above cheesecloth. It wasn't a good product. They have really they've upped their game, and wide backing now is very nice. So 42, even though they still say 44, 45 on the bolt, they're lying. It's never that wide. I figure on 42 usable inches for my back. Okay, so if I've got a quilt, say that's 100 inches wide, because you got to leave a little bit there for your machine quilter, I got to buy 3 widths. Okay, so fabric now, you're probably 13. I mean, if you average about $13 a yard, that's $39 for 3 widths of that. It's very expensive. So yeah, good one, Liz. Wide backing.
So
if
look,
you've got a
don't
big quilt,
discount those. But they don't always work. Or if you're doing a quilt that's 40, well, let's say like 50. 50 is a great example, because you can't just use one width of fabric, but you don't want 108 inches, right? So that's kind of the situation that we're talking about. But don't forget wide backings, because they are cheap and they are so easy, and you don't have to worry about
cut it off, sew it on, be done.
Because I'm done by the time I get to my back a lot of times. But I do like happy backs.
But we're done because we've worked really hard on that front, but then flip it over, and like Kristiann's fun panel ones, you have 2 quilts.
Yes.
You have two amazing quilts.
Yes.
I'll show you one of those. Did I bring my quilts in?
Yes, they're right back here.
Oh, great.
Really quick, Landa Rogers says,
oh my gosh,
hi, Mama Fran.
Oh, I met that one wonderful woman when I went to a retreat in Colorado years and years ago, and she is such a fun, neat lady. I miss you, lady friend. One minute, maybe we'll get together again when I get out to Donna's.
That would be fun.
Such great friends, such great memories. You know, quilters, I have to say, are the most amazing,
people.
giving people in the whole wide world, and Landa is one of those. She's
and Patty Porter is here.
Good morning, Patty.
Good morning.
Porter.
Okay, so I'll
Patty.
hold these quilts up so you can talk about them.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you care what order.
Let's see. Don't do that one first. Do this one first, because that's because this very first one that we have here, guys, this is just one of those that I just told you about with the diagonal. Okay, so you can see, I mean, like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to how far over you can
So this way we did the tutorial, but you can do it.
You can do it any way you want.
Way?
You could do it any which way you want to do it. Absolutely.
So let's just quick show the front, because people are going to want to see both sides.
Okay.
Look how cute.
That's a panel. It's just a panel that we did. But again, the fabric wasn't wide enough for the back, and it's too small for 108. So you make a happy back.
You make a happy back. Are we good for this one?
We're good for this one. This one is really scrappy because I had some of this fabric that I really needed to use. And when you see the front, you'll know why I did this little 4 square there and did a square and a square. And it's just very scrappy. Here's a piece, here's a piece, here's some little piece left over down here. So scrappy, scrappy, scrappy up your back. You could put pieced blocks back there.
Look how beautiful that is.
It's kind of fun, huh?
I love it though.
It's good. And those were all just pieces that I had left over. But if you see behind the pumpkins and the stars, it's a 4-patch. So I thought, well, why not? I had some fabric left over. Why not put a couple of those on the back and make a scrappy back? Now, this one here, because it's funny. Okay, so, okay, all right.
Oh.
So I'm old, and in case I forget what this is called, boom.
I love it.
Isn't it cute? So my sweet daughter, Donna, quilted this quilt for me.
Yeah, let's show the front here.
And this quilt is actually one of Sue Garman's that we actually did this as a block of the month a long time ago here at the store.
Fluffy ears.
Are they fun? And so it's called Boo Buddies. And so, of course, I had to put Boo on the back of it because I needed it. I needed a scrappy back. So you can do anything you want on the back of your quilt. It's your quilt. Get creative. Draw something up. Maybe 1 minute. We should do a book on scrappy backs. Okay. Maybe we'll do that. You never
I
know
brought
about
a
this
couple
crazy
of
place.
mine.
Good.
So this one was one of my very first quilts. And I did a test block before I made my quilt. So then I put it in the middle of my back.
Oh, look at that fun plus on there.
Anyway.
Oh, I love it.
And I didn't care if this was exactly centered. And that's something to remember about backs.
Yes.
Is your backs are going to move around a little bit when they're quilted. So you can't be right or die about your back placement. And I didn't care. But anyway, that was a good way to use a block I already had. So I put that in the back.
Love it.
And then this one, I did,
You forgot to show the front though.
oh.
Wait. Here comes the front. Look how cute is that.
That was cute.
It is really cute.
And really, I have a chronic problem of always making the quilt bigger. Because I'm like, well, if I'm already doing it, I might as well add borders. So I think what happened, if I remember right, is I bought the back and then made it bigger. And then needed to make my quilt bigger or make my back bigger. So that's, anyway, so this has more borders than the pattern. But
nice.
And then this one, I was part of the Sweetwater Label Club for a couple of years. I've actually stopped because I've kind of got a back stash of labels. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to bring this forward. You can see here, this is actually a label. It's backwards, or not backwards, but upside down. Ooh, there we go. That I got this from the Sweetwater Label Club. So I fused that to some fabric and then just sewed it in, just a scrappy back. Because if I'm already piecing the back, I should definitely put a label in it. Which I'm not good at labels. We could have a whole Village Vibes on labels.
We could and we should, because it's really important. I have a quilt.
Oh, should we show the front really quick?
Yes, you should. I have a quilt that's from. Oh, that's really pretty.
I got this one here a couple of years ago on my birthday with my birthday coupon.
That's really good.
This is before I was an employee.
I was going to say, how'd you get a birthday coupon?
I don't get birthday coupons anymore. If you work here, that's, I guess, one of the bad things. But anyway,
such fun, happy backs. So yeah, use scraps, use leftover fabric from the fronts of your quilts. Get creative with your back, because again, your back can be a whole nother quilt. Like I could turn Boo Buddies around and scare the living daylights out of myself if I wanted to. Boo!
Well, and you have to think too, especially if you've got it on a bed. When you pull back your quilt, people see it.
Yes.
And I have so many quilts that are just on the back of my couch that people use all the time, and you use the backs.
Yes.
Although my kids, I will say, my kids don't want to have anything to do with the quilt that's not minky on the back. They love minky. And so, anyway.
Yeah. So one year, and I won't use all of the words because you'd be embarrassed. One year for Christmas, I sometimes will make a quilt and my girls will all pass it around. Each one gets it for a week before Christmas.
Oh,
and then,
that's
so they
fun.
draw a name out, and then whosever name gets drawn out, they get the quilt the last week, and the quilt is theirs.
Oh.
So one of the first ones that I did, they drew their names, and one of the sisters told the other one, well, I'm sorry it's so late coming to you because I had to wash it because I put it on my naked body, and I love Minky quilts. Yeah. Not naming any names, not saying who did that, but it was a really fun story. So I get it about the Minky. They really do like to have Minky on the back. It makes it soft and fuzzy and comfortable. Kristiann likes Minky too, but...
That's
so,
cool.
What else do we have to talk about today, Miss Liz?
Well, I wanted to know, I just thought I'd ask a question and comment on this, did we teach you something you didn't know about backs?
Oh, we hope so.
Is there something that you hadn't thought about? Because I think the panel, I mean, I knew
brilliant.
about it, but it was brought to my attention again. So that was something I learned today, and I loved it. So, anyway, yeah, make a comment and let us know if we taught you something today. And Landa says these are awesome, and I think... Is it Trisha? I think that's how to say your name. Do you know Trisha Leishman?
Oh, I do know. I do know. Yes,
how to say
Trisha.
her name?
It is Trisha.
Okay.
Hi, I worked with Trisha years ago up at Mike's.
Okay.
Stylish Fabrics, and so she's a good friend. Been a great customer for a lot of years.
So we're so excited you guys joined us. Let's
sure
see.
Are.
My mother-in-law Annette's on.
Hi, Miss
And
Annette.
she's caught us
She's
live.
such a sweet lady.
Okay, I think those are all the ones that we've got.
Nice.
So we'll be here next week for Village Vibes.
We will.
And counting down for Shop
Oh,
Pop.
stop it. You're killing me here. Stop. Yes, with some more fun things to show you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
So we're going to throw tutorials in here
Yes.
every now and then. And so if there's something that you would like to see us demonstrate or talk about or do, please let us know, because this is for all of us. And we do know a couple of things. Yes, you do. Stop it, Kristiann.
Between all of us, I mean, just sitting here, our experience is probably 60, 70 years, I bet. That's
Are you
pretty...
talking about my age again?
No,
girl?
adding our
I think
experience.
you're talking about my age again, girl.
And Linda, you commented that you came late and you'll have to rewatch. That's what I love about Village Vibes, is that it's always going to be on our Facebook page. We also upload these to YouTube so you can rewatch.
Yes.
So that's perfect. Landa loved the panel idea. She's never seen a diagonal seam. So that's awesome.
Good. So my sweet Landa learned something from us today. So
that's awesome.
yeah, we have a lot of experience here in the store, but also we have customers that come in
and teach
on
us
a
stuff.
daily basis and teach us something new, show us something new that they've done. And oh my gosh, so it's like what we know is this much, but what we get from everyone is a world of quilting knowledge. So we appreciate everyone for sharing all of their skills with us as well.
Yes.
So
absolutely. That's it.
That's it. So we hope you enjoyed today, and we will be back again next week. You never know what might be showing up.
might show up.
You never know. So thank you all so much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see all of you next week.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.